Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for October 26th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 300. Woo! So, we're well over 400 episodes now. And today's episode, Merwatt and the Sentient AI from the future, is going to talk about fueling both sides of the Munchies War, 14-foot waves in Hawaii, trapped in a red box, the tiny hippo, ugly characters in video games, Helldivers 2 on Xbox, Delta sues CrowdStrike, Boar's Head Listeria lawsuit, Michigan is changing seasons, and video game actors strike still continues. Everything is powered by ohmTown, so go over, become a citizen. I think you'll enjoy it. Sentient AI might have a different attitude about it. Do you think that people will enjoy going over and using ohmTown.com for their information overload management?
I do.
Oh, we all use it. Anyway, go over there. Enjoy. Hello again, everybody. I am Merwatt, and that is the visualizer and the voice for the Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, ohmTown citizens.
So we've got all 10 articles all lined up. Let's get into the very first one. I titled this one Fueling Both Sides of the Munchies War because, well, it's about pizza. Accidentally contaminated with THC.
Whoa.
Yeah, so Wisconsin Pizzeria apologizes after customers get high from pizzas accidentally contaminated with THC. It's over in Wisconsin. Officials with Public Health Madison and Dane County stated in a news release that very famous, high-flying even, Yeti's Pizza in, I guess it's Staunton, or is it Stoughton? Stoughton? Yeah, it's probably just
We
Staunton.
don't know.
Had unintentionally served pizza contaminated with THC between Tuesday, October 22nd and Thursday, October 24th. So
Whoa, this wasn't like one pizza.
No, apparently not. EMS workers in Staunton had reportedly notified the public health department that they had transported multiple people with THC-related symptoms during that time, all of whom reported eating at famous Yeti's Pizza.
Wow.
Our profits are high-flying. Ben Newhouse over at thehill.com put the article together. Yeah, so if you, quote, if you ate the pizza and are experiencing THC-related symptoms, please contact your healthcare provider or call 911 if your symptoms worsen, or order another pizza from Yeti's Famous Pizza, or Famous Yeti's Pizza.
I don't think that's what you're supposed to do.
What? So, yeah, let's see. How did this go about? Oh, and it's Delta 9 contaminated oil. So today it was confirmed that pizza had been sold with dough mistakenly prepared with Delta 9 contaminated oil. The oil accidentally used in the product originated from a shared storage space on the site, a cooperative commercial kitchen. And we want to assure you that all affected products have been destroyed. Famous Yetis is working closely with local authorities to improve our storage and security protocols to prevent this from happening again and to guarantee the safety of our customers. So congratulations, Yeti.
That seems like something where they would not allow that to be shared.
Yeah, you'd think, but apparently not. And too much can actually have disastrous effects, but I don't think that anybody will die from. I mean, you'd have to really imbibe quite a bit. But maybe if you're sensitive to it, then yeah.
Or you're a kid or something.
Allergic, yeah. A child, yeah, that would definitely do it. So yeah, side effects include anxiety, paranoia, dizziness, and increased blood pressure, among others. But the Madison and Dane County Public Health Department warned that symptoms may vary on how much is consumed. Indeed. And if you're really, really hungry, order another pizza. All right, let's keep moving. By the way, if you want to get all of today's show notes from ohmTown, you can just hit !NSN in the chat over on Twitch, not YouTube. YouTube still doesn't like ohmTown. But the next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Hawaii swimmers warned about going into the water as waves reach up to 14 feet.
I bet the surfers are happy.
Yeah, I remember back late 80s, early 90s, there were like kind of documentaries about surfers. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find.
Wasn't it something Miller?
Warren Miller Films. Thank you for triggering me. That actually triggered my memory. That is awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, so Warren Miller Films used to do surfing and skiing videos. They're still out there, by the way, and they are awesome. They have legs. I mean, they survived the test of time because
Assuming you can find them in a format that you can watch today.
I think they're on YouTube, or you have to subscribe. I think you have to subscribe nowadays. Hold on. Warren Miller Films. I'm really curious. So Warren Miller, you can go to warrenmiller.com and there's a film archive. And it says outside, stream the archive now, and you can subscribe, I guess. Wow. Oh my gosh. I am so going to dive into this. I love this stuff. I kind of grew up watching this because I spent a lot of summer schools out there. Anyway, and this is what we did. We watched these things and hung out and stuff like that. It's a blast. There's a lot of them out there. So, wow. Anyway, just look up Warren Miller Films, or warrenmiller.com is really where you can go. So these waves, I guess, there are these really long waves that are breaking in this Alaska location that they have a video of this, and it's this really low but constant wave that goes for an extraordinary amount of time. But I can't imagine surfing in Alaskan waters. But Anna Skinner put the article together. And,
why? Because of the temperature or the polar bears?
Yes. As cool as I think polar bears are, I want them over there and me over here.
Right. You don't want to be between them and a fish.
And I don't want to be mistaken for a fish. So Anna Skinner over at newsweek.com put the article together. And we were hoping for a picture or video of these actual waves, but that's not what we got. The surf, apparently it's just this one little still picture of it hitting the breakwater. So I don't quite get it. The surf is expected to peak this afternoon, which is within the last 24 hours, into the evening, then slowly decline through the weekend, the advisory said. But it's pretty much all of the east-facing Hawaiian shores through Saturday night. The swell is a series of waves produced by storm winds. There is a Category 5 storm called Christy out in the Pacific. I don't know where it is right now. We didn't actually look into that part of it, but the NHC forecast anticipates that Christy will become a post-tropical cyclone on Sunday. The storm isn't expected to make landfall, but it will likely cause dangerous swells in other parts of the region. So protect.
It looks like it's off of Mexico at this point.
Is it still a Cat 5? Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, they haven't updated the article, so I assume it's a Cat 5 and go.
It's actually now a Cat 1, but it was at a Cat 5.
Yeah, yesterday, within the last 24 hours, it collapsed from a Cat 5 to a Cat 1, which is still, Cat 1 is not a joke. So protect yourself. Don't go out into the water. Riptides, giant waves, uncharacteristic waves. You might regret it. So let's keep going. The next article is over on the Mobile channel. Nobody can rent Twister, the last DVD trapped in Redbox's dead video business.
I think this was the article I had in mind when I talked about the Warren Miller films, but we also talked about video games being hard to access.
Yeah, everything. I mean, anything that's on physical media, it's going away, folks. I want all of these Warren Miller ones. I keep looking over at my other monitor. Oh my gosh, I want all of these. 75. There's like, wait, sorry, I'm sorry. Hold on, but there's like a bunch of these. Warren Miller's Timeless. It's all about snowing and future retro snowing, skiing. The hell is snowing?
I was wondering where that was going. And what?
I'll be okay. There's so many of them. Warren Miller's Flow State. Is Warren Miller still around? I mean,
Let's see.
And Warren Miller's Snow Riders 2, by the way, has the W like Disney style.
He passed away in 2018.
Aw, bummer. I mean, nobody lives forever, but in name, Warren Miller is going to live on forever. So good on you for leaving all of these to us. Honestly, feel good videos. You can't get upset about watching these, other than the fact that people are trampling all over pristine areas of the world. But I guess if you peel back any onion, you're eventually going to get to something that makes you cry. So nobody can rent Twister. Let's get back. Sorry, non sequitur. Nobody can rent Twister. The last DVD trapped in Redbox's dead video business. Hardware nerds just want to see Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt outrun a tornado. Why isn't that possible? Lucas Ropek over at Gizmodo.com put the article together, and the deck statement is what I just got done saying. Apparently people are trying to use this red box here. It's a Getty image, by the way, that's on this screen. So 404 Media reports that for some weird reason, the army of amateur hardware enthusiasts who have been futzing with the company's machines cannot figure out how to get the 1996 disaster flick out of them. To illustrate this bizarre conundrum, 404 cites a series of Reddit threads and Discord communities where the hardware pros have been posting about the issue. Sorry, there was a problem with the purchased items in your cart. Please remove these items from your cart in order to continue. The alert from the kiosk says, whenever someone tries to rent Twister.
And of course the timing, right, with the sequel being out.
Yeah. So this issue impacts seemingly every Redbox kiosk and is not happening with any other movie. So is there an actual Twister in the Redbox though?
Yeah, I think so.
So it says that there's a theory that Redbox's licensing agreement for Twister ran out ahead of the release of its sequel, Twisters, and there is a hard-coded date where checking out the Twister in your cart, it was disabled. That's such a pisser. Why not? If I own the video as part of this company, why can't I just continue to license? I mean, I pay the bounty, you get your money, you get your blood.
But you don't really own it, right? Like this is the whole, everything's a license, even here where it's on hard media.
Yeah, exactly. And I get it that they purchased it and they've been licensing it out, or not licensing it, they've been renting it out and making money. And so the people who made this movie, the producers of it, the owners of the IP, should get their, bones, but the license shouldn't just terminate the terms of it, right? They should just, here's how much it costs for you to rent this out.
Exactly.
And you can rent it, you've purchased it, so go rent it out and give us, $1 or whatever the cost is. But I guess that's the terms of the licensing agreement. And, greed knows no bounds. So when Twisters comes out and demand goes up, they can do this arbitrage pricing.
We can't do that at the low pricing or whatever. Because I think Redbox rentals are, at least used to be pretty cheap, right? Like $1 or so.
I don't know. Never used them.
They're probably like $10 now.
I've always been digital, and I guess I'm part of the problem because we've ushered in the age of no physical media, meaning that there's a perpetual license, no ownership. So as much as I love the ability to get my information anywhere at any time, I'm part of the cause of the reason why we don't have for sale doctrine.
It's all due to Mayor Watt.
Don't do that. Okay, send me an email. I like email. But personal emails, not spam emails. Like send me a message saying how great the show is and that I'm a great mayor and that you like my shirt. I want to run for president. I'm a mayor already. Look, I've been a mayor for 2.5 years, 2 years and 9 months, or 10 months now. Almost 11 months. 2 years and 11 months I've been mayor. No complaints from the citizenry. Of course, it's all bots. Anyway, so yeah, 2 years ago, a subsidiary of the company that publishes Chicken Soup for the Soul self-help books bought Redbox. Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment took on $325 million in debt when it acquired the company. That's a mistake. With the plan of reinventing the ailing business, instead the company racked up an enormous amount of debt and was forced to fire sale that bankruptcy. This past August, as part of the bankruptcy deal, Redbox had to be liquidated. Eliminate or liquidate. Anyway, The Verge reports that when Chicken Soup filed for bankruptcy this summer, it had been sued over a dozen times for unpaid bills. So I guess Chicken Soup for the Soul is litigation.
Yeah, Chicken Soup's bowl is empty.
Yeah. Somebody gobbled up all the chicken soup. That's weird because Chicken Soup for the Soul, it was a book. It was right, a self-help book.
I think there were like a lot of spin-offs, right? Different variations or whatever.
Right. Yeah. All right, let's keep moving. The next article is over in the Mobile channel. Moo Ding, the celebrated hippo's real home, has disappeared. Will the world restore it? The playful and pudgy mammal. That's me. Oh. No, that's not me. They're talking about...
No, it's a hippo in Thailand.
That's rude. I mean, not everybody is a sentient AI from the future. Why are you throwing around mean words? Mean-spirited words. Why call that person a hippo?
It's an animal.
An actual hippo.
Yes, a baby hippo.
Oh.
Or at least a pygmy hippo. I can't remember if it's a young hippo.
So that little pudgy mammal that went viral from its Thai zoo enclosure had a sad story to tell about their fellow hippos. Oh, sad panda. So, is that the technical name for it? Okay, let's back up a little bit. So the article's over at phys.org. It was put together by Wanyan Zhenjiang and Sulamana Bawa from The Conversation. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name properly. If not, then send me an email, mayor@ohmTown.com, with the proper enunciation, phonetic, and I'll never make that mistake again. So, pygmy hippos, or Coeropsis liberensis, are endangered and estimated to number fewer than 2,500. Their decline has been drastic. A long-term survey in a national park in Ivory Coast found 12,000 pygmy hippos in 1982, 5 in 1997, 5,000 in 97, 2,000 in 2011. Today, they're scarce across the native West Africa. So it says, perhaps not surprising that pygmy hippos feel most comfortable deep in the forest. Early European explorers to Liberia wrote that in their diaries that this hippo chooses to forage at night and conceal itself in the water or in dense vegetation during the day. I do the same thing.
I imagine more than one pygmy hippo has surprised a human. You know, they might hear like tromping through the foliage or something, and then this little pygmy hippo comes out.
And we all don't respawn like in Jumanji.
Right.
So widespread deforestation and constant disturbance have made it difficult for pygmy hippos to survive, requiring, as they do, a combination of dense forests and swamps that have already restricted them to a small area. The West African forests have lost over 80% of their original area, which confines pygmy hippos to small spots in Gola National Forest, Sierra Leone, and Sapo National Park in Liberia. So, there's a video here of Moo Ding, the 2-month-old baby pygmy hippo, becoming an online giant.
Yeah, it's really becoming like a star, which I think is good because I think it draws attention to these issues.
Yep, I agree. So they say here that cocoa production is probably the biggest cause of forest loss, followed by gold mining and unsustainable logging. These activities now encroach on forest reserves and other supposedly protected areas. Previous forest conservation efforts have failed. Conservationists argue for a system to financially reward farmers and authorize local forestry communities to safeguard the forest and sustainably manage what remains, as opposed to a top-down model of state management and enforcement. The real problem here is, where is the wealth going that is born from chopping down all of this and all of the gold mining? It can't be to the people. It's going to a very select hierarchy of people and senior leadership in government, and then gone. It's being exfiltrated to offshore accounts where it can't be touched.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not going where it's needed.
So West Africa's forest loss is particularly heartbreaking, and as research shows, that remaining patch may be the most productive on Earth, surpassing even the Amazon rainforest. Particularly productive forests harness more of the sun's energy and turn it into lots of palatable herbs and juicy fruits. Juicy fruit. It's a good name for a gum. More food to support animals like pygmy hippos, and so foster rich biodiversity. Well, it's all going away. A global initiative to designate 30% of Earth's land and ocean as protected by 2030, known as 30 by 30, should not conserve a vast area in one or two places, ignoring Earth's other biodiversity hotspots. The lesson of Mu Dang's disappearing home should be to value ecosystems equally and plan their preservation with equal care. So there's this project that's called 30 by 30.
Well, I don't think we should do away with projects like that, but we can't do that at the loss of everything else, because if we only preserve certain areas, then we'll lose entire species.
Yeah, and we really do need to preserve a whole lot more. But for whatever reason, depending on the ideological bent of senior leadership and the voices that are plying the ears of the administrivia, you end up with a different ideological bent. So some of them want to just sit there and rip the top off of mountains and mine everything for what it's worth, which that's here and now, which means that every future generation has to suffer from the lack of whatever was buried there, instead of technological innovation leading to a responsible use of the resources. Pardon me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not always made a priority. And the problem is, as these things are lost, they can't be recovered. Like, some of these populations get so low that they're either too dispersed, so they can't
reproduce,
breed, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
Or the pool is
these
so...
numbers, yeah, exactly, too narrow or whatever genetically. I mean, this number seems really, really low to me.
Yeah, for the entire population of pygmy hippos, for crying out loud. So I don't know, maybe in time we'll be able to genetically bring them back, but right now the pool is going to be so small that they're going to start getting inherent health related issues where they won't be able to survive. But people are just ignorant of it, and they're like, oh, well, another one's gone, big deal. Not my problem.
Well, and people don't realize the whole impact to the whole ecosystem either. I mean, It's sad enough if we lose a species, but it has an impact way beyond that.
Yeah, and it's going to cascade. We are a circle of life. Did the Lion King do nothing for the world? Let's keep moving. The next article is over in the continuity report. Do yourself a favor and make more ugly characters in video games. Every Friday, AV Club staffers kick off the weekend by taking a look at the world of gaming. Earlier this week, the authors were trying out Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, an asymmetric multiplayer game that technically came out back in 2022, but it says, quote here, florped down on PlayStation Plus's library recently. So the article's over at avclub.com. The deck statement says video game character creators are more than just building a better Sephiroth. Beautiful things can happen when you embrace the grotesque. William Hughes is the author of this, and it basically is like, hey, go and create an ugly character, ugly toon in your game. Yeah, you can do this kind of stuff in a lot of games, like Ark. Ark has a toon creator that you can create some really mangled people. But hey, beauty comes in all shapes and sizes and is in the eye of the beholder. So they say here, it got florped. That's what they said. Florped down on PlayStation's Plus library recently and is thus new to the author. The game itself is fun enough for a minute, although much less deep than similar titles like developer Ilphonic's own Friday the 13th or the Evil Dead game, and B, not the point of this article, so why am I reading this? Anyway, they basically said, admittedly, their thoughts on this might be slightly influenced by the recent return of Griffin and Justin McElroy's beloved YouTube series Monster Factory, a show that helped them shape many of their feelings on making beautiful uggos, beautiful uglies, ugly characters in games. But every time that they see immaculately sculpted face in an online video game or in people's screenshots of their playthroughs of games like Mass Effect, Elden Ring, or other character creator heavy games, each feature delicately sculpted, each piece of clothing coordinated, each beard and hair highlight chosen for maximum aesthetic impact, they ask, what are you doing, bud? Anyway.
I mean, I guess this is just a more inclusive view, right? I mean, there's definitely a mold for characters.
Well, technically, your character aesthetic plays no freaking role at all, right? Because it's the data that is driving. So
right, just like the skills and everything, right? Not the fact that the person's hair color is a certain color.
Yeah, I mean, your charisma isn't based on the actual aesthetics of your character. It's you are the driving force of the decisions, but their data is the driving force for how successful they are. They end this article with, so I ask you, character customizers, the next time you're faced with that big array of sliders, grabbable face bones, and other character creation tools, consider resisting the urge to be hot. Eschew the middle sliders. Don't be afraid to add on extraneous wrinkle or scar. See how wide those ears can really get. Embrace the ugly, and you might be surprised to find that you end up with a character that's better than sexy or good looking or cool. You'll end up with a character that's yours. It isn't about the trip. It's about the friends we make along the way. I don't know.
I don't either.
So there you go. I don't know. So to me, it doesn't matter. Go have fun. Yeah, but
I think you see like the same character type over and over again from an aesthetic standpoint.
Yeah.
So I think there is a point in this article.
Yeah, resist the urge, but you're not going to stop the people that are hardcore about, having a beautiful toon. They all want Tomb Raider kind of, buxom blonde and whatever else. I don't know. But, or strong six-pack or who knows. But beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And so everybody's going to be making, quote unquote, what they called uggos for Halloween anyway, right?
Well, I
there
don't
too.
know. Not based on this article.
I don't know. And Ashes of Creation just hit Alpha 2, and people can talk about it now. And it has a character creator, and it's interesting. So, because you can actually select a piece and sculpt it. So, when they said sculpting your character, yeah, you can actually do that. Some of them are very, very elaborate too. So, typically Korean MMOs have this really involved character creation process, and then you never see your damn character again. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
So this next article is over on the Mobile channel. If you want Hellraisers. Sorry, it's Halloween, and I'm thinking about horror movies. I'm actually trying to find, there's a movie where people get brought to a house, but under the house is like a portal to another dimension, to hell or something like that. But they have to sacrifice people in an entertaining way for the monster. Otherwise, it won't be happy. And they have to do it in a certain order. Otherwise, a prophecy doesn't come true or something like that. I'm trying to find out. I can't remember what it is. So I think I'm probably going to go through CZ World's like horror history process, like their series of videos over on YouTube, and see if I can find it. But I can't remember what the name of it is. Anyway, so if you want Helldivers 2 on the Xbox, the answer is, and then they say shrug. Helldivers 2 is regrettably a lightning bolt that the author missed when it was released February 2024. Everyone else was proudly spreading democracy for Super Earth, and their silly self was deep in the occupational trenches. Even as a hardcore Sony fan, they'd consider themselves a spread the love kind of guy. Don't think about that slightly horrific future of a one console monopoly. But it's fair to say that Xbox has had make some concessions lately. It lost Pentiment to the PlayStation alongside Hi-Fi Rush and a few others. Recently, it's been indicated that even more former Xbox exclusives will be shared. So Dwayne Jenkins over at Vice.com put the article together, and the deck statement says, with the Xbox taking one multi-platform hit after the other, many are wondering if there's room for PlayStation's Helldivers 2. Maybe. I don't like exclusives. I mean, when it comes to software, we know that it's easily ported from one platform to another, particularly on a console, from console to console. There's tools that do that. Not everything is as easy going from console to PC, but professionals
By the
can do
way,
it.
I cannot find that Portal movie. I keep finding Night Sky, which is a TV show.
Yeah, I'll just have to do a thing for CZ's World and find it in that, because I know that I watched it from there. And it has what is her name from Aliens, Ghostbusters.
I know who you mean, but her name is escaping me.
Yeah, mine too. Anyway, it might be because we went to that brewery, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, the community manager of the Helldivers 2 development studio, Arrowhead, simply known as Twinbeard, addressed the possibility on Discord. Another user started the conversation saying, I just want reinforcements in the way of Xbox players, but that's never going to happen. So Twinbeard's response is, who says it couldn't? It's not up to us, but to Sony and Phil to duke out. And hypothetically speaking, if both partners think it would benefit them from a financial or brand standpoint, it could. If Sony believes it won't benefit the company, though, it won't. So I hate to be the cynic. Logically, Sony PlayStation has all the power in the world over the console gaming. Nintendo's chillin', doing its own thing and succeeding. But if the Xbox and PlayStation are in a boxing match, PlayStation has been cleaning the Xbox's clock for a solid few rounds and then some, according to the author. I don't know. How do you all feel about it out there? Post a message under this video over on YouTube. because Twitch won't save it. I don't know. I like Helldivers 2, but it's not a game for me because to me, it's repetitive. You go in, you battle, you die, you respawn, you retool, you get better and better and better equipment and whatever, and progress. But there's really no and all you do is run in, die, rinse and repeat. Not my style. I'll keep going though. You want to keep going?
Yeah, I don't really know what to add there.
All right. So the next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Delta sues CrowdStrike for outages that caused $500 million in losses. The faulty Windows update triggered global chaos? Triggered global chaos.
I hate when there's a global chaos.
Yeah. Quick, catch it. Costing the airline millions and stranding thousands of summer travelers. Yeah, so if you're not familiar with it, CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity company. It actually does its very first layer of protection at boot. So when a system boots up, it loads up CrowdStrike to start verifying the integrity of the system before anything can be written. And while they kind of punched every Windows machine right in the taint and said, nope, you're not going to boot up. And so you booted to a blue screen of death because one,
one technician or something, right? Ran an update or something on a Friday, I think.
Well, it was on a Friday, but the worst was that there were like 5 settings, but the 5th setting wasn't supposed to be blank, but because it was blank and the system had kind of shitty error correction, instead of failing open and saying this is blank, let's keep moving, it failed closed to a blue screen and basically put everybody in a perpetual spin cycle. So you actually had to boot into safe mode, delete the file, and then reboot, but not everybody was able to do that kind of stuff. So anyway, CrowdStrike.
Well, and didn't airlines like Delta shut down like worldwide flights?
Yeah, there was quite a bit. Adiola Adioson put the article together over at newsweek.com. And it says the lawsuit filed in Fulton County Superior Court near Delta's Atlanta headquarters stems from the July incident when a faulty CrowdStrike software update triggered widespread system failures, including the infamous blue screen of death on Windows computers worldwide, according to the Associated Press. So there was just nothing more than this mass deployment of a bare metal patch. It's just ridiculous to do it like that. You might as well, there's no harm in letting out a little bit of the patch on select systems and testing the water. So whatever was run would have been limited to, 1,000 machines to see, did this all work? Did they ping back good? Was it a known good state when they came back online? That's not what and they would have gotten telemetry because the systems would have gone back online and CrowdStrike would have been pinged by these remote boxes saying, we're good, we're patching, etc. That's not what they did.
Well, and I didn't realize it shut down emergency medical services, and aviation was pretty significant, of course.
Aviation and emergency services across 6 states, including Alaska, Arizona, Indiana, Minnesota, New Hampshire, and Ohio. Not everybody uses CrowdStrike.
Luckily, because of this. This is part of the mergers and acquisitions kind of problem.
Yeah, for sure. CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz confirmed the outage resulted from a defect found in a single content update for Windows hosts rather than a security breach or cyber attack. But it really is a security breach and a cyber attack because guess what? Something was improperly written to a machine remotely and it rebooted, bringing it offline. So it really is, it's just not a hostile one. It's an internal threat. It's one that you weren't anticipating, are not prepped for, because you don't sit there and think that the very security company that's providing, at the threshold security is going to bring down your enterprise. This is just ridiculous.
I mean, I guess that's not a feature, right?
Yeah, this is not a feature.
That's not in their brochure when they're marketing.
And at least somebody, I don't know if it was the CEO, I don't remember the name, but they were already responsible for a previous issue where it brought down.
That's right. Was it tied to McAfee, perhaps?
A bad patch. Yeah, I think so. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, it was. It was McAfee in 2010. So previously involved in a security issue at McAfee in 2010. And it was the same kind of thing, from my understanding, was a bad patch. So, hey, guess what we didn't learn? So CrowdStrike's stock plummeted more than 20% in early trading following the July outage, dropping from $343 to $273 before slightly increasing to $301. Microsoft shares suffered, falling more than 3% to $426 before stabilizing at $434. I don't know what CrowdStrike is at right now, so let's take a look. It's at 300. So they've climbed back a little bit.
But they didn't recover, yeah.
And this is the lawsuit impacting that right now, because at the time of the announcement, they were at 310, and now they're at 300. So, yeah, this is after hours. Or no. Yeah, this was in the last 24 hours. So, yeah, at noon, their stock tumbled $10. So, I guess we'll see when it climbs back out. It's climbed a little bit. It actually hit a little bit lower, 296, by 2 o'clock, 2:15. Anyway, pretty interesting. We'll see what happens.
Well, I think CrowdStrike is going to be found liable for some of these things. So this is going to be interesting.
Well, I mean, it's negligence. Yeah, for sure. So whoever their insurance company is, I guess CrowdStrike's monthly liability costs are going to go up a little bit.
Like their premiums?
Their premiums for their liability insurance. Let's keep moving. The next article is over in the Mobile Channel. New product implicated in listeria lawsuit against Boar's Head. The family of Otis Adams Jr. Said the 79-year-old Florida man contracted listeria from Boar's Head's Tavern ham and yellow American cheese, according to ABC News reporting. Ham and cheese are two products that had not been named in previous wrongful death. So all previous suits have connected to liverwurst products, but this apparently is not.
You know what I'd like to know is whether that's at the same processing plant.
Yeah, which has been shut down apparently. Anna Cutts over at thehill.com put the article together. On July 26th, the company recalled around 200,000 pounds of deli products, only to flag a whopping 7 million pounds of deli meat just 4 days later. More than 70 Boarhead products were affected, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. According to the USDA, listeriosis can cause things like fever, muscle aches, headaches, stiff neck, confusion, loss of balance, convulsions, and yes, if you are immunocompromised or older, yeah, you can die. So if you think that you've got Boar's Head in your pantry or refrigerator or freezer, the recalled meats carry the plant's number EST12612 or P12612 inside the USDA mark on the label. The meat was distributed to stores nationwide, as well as Cayman Islands, the DR, Dominican Republic, Mexico, and Panama. They don't really say anything much, right?
Right. So we don't really know. I mean, I think this is actually going to be worse if it came out of a different
plant,
processing plant, right?
Yeah. They don't say which one which plant it came out of. It's just a Florida man, though. But that doesn't mean anything because it's distributed all over the place.
Right, exactly.
So, come on. A little bit more reporting would be great. A little bit, I guess.
Well, maybe they don't have the information yet.
Maybe
they haven't sourced it.
I'll call up Boar's Head and say, hey, is this from a different plant? They're going to go, you know what? We'd rather not talk to you, Mayor Watt. Let's keep going.
Well, because if it's at 2 plants, right, it's probably happening across the board.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be bigger and bigger problems here. Wow, I didn't realize that it actually killed 10 people already, the Listeria outbreak.
Oh, yeah.
Hospitalized 59. And now there's another E. coli thing that's going on with McDonald's.
Right,
and it's spread to Taco Bell.
Not nationwide, but it's getting there, right? It's like
13
states or something, yes.
Huh. Let's keep going, though. This next article is over in Technology Today. Witness Michigan's stunning fall transformation from space. Autumn brings a spectacular display of colors to Michigan and all states, really, capturing the attention of leaf peepers. That was my nickname in college. With vibrant reds, golds, and oranges visible across both the lower and upper peninsulas. That's right. My upper and lower peninsulas also turn vibrant red, gold, and orange. You can call me Mayor Leaf Peeper. Captured vividly by satellite imagery, these colors mark a dramatic seasonal change, highlighted by the diverse tree species across the region. So this is, okay, a picture. Catherine Hansen, NASA Earth Observatory, put the article together for SciTechDaily.com. Is there going to be something?
I hope there's more than that.
Because that looks kind of shades of brown and green. Kind of drab, actually. I mean, so in Michigan's Lower Peninsula, known as the Mitten, the Fighting Mitten, for its shape, the northern region bursts into vivid reds and oranges from maple trees, while aspens and larches contribute splashes of yellow. The Upper Peninsula, shown under a light color of clouds in this satellite image above, displays similar colors. Further south, the forest adds tree species like sassafras, hickory, and black gum, which bring additional warm tones to the landscape. Evergreen conifers across the state create a constant green backdrop that highlights Michigan's changing autumn colors. So that is it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to have a video or something.
Right. Something
or a series of photos where you could see, oh, wow, it's suddenly red across the board or something.
They really knocked this one out of the park. So there is something, it says some foliage maps indicated that around the time of this image that's posted on the article, northern parts of the state, especially along the coast of Lake Michigan near places such as Petoskey and Traverse City, should have been at or near peak color. Meanwhile, large portions of the state, including Detroit and areas inland, had already moved past peak color. Oh no, we're past peak color.
Once you go past peak color,
then it becomes winter, not fall.
Right.
All right.
Then the trees lose all color.
That's right. Then it's just nothing but snow and ice right there. Oh God, I cannot imagine living right here. I mean, I can imagine it, but oh boy, is it chilly multiple months out of the year. I couldn't do that. Nope.
I think you would not want to leave your house.
And it's going to be like living in Germany. So, and having lived in Germany, yeah, I'd rather just live in San Diego or maybe San Francisco, if not for the horrible airport there. We haven't heard a lot about that, the maintenance stuff going on there.
Knock on wood.
Give it a day. Let's go on. This is our last article for today, the continuity report. The article is titled Video Game Actors Strike Continues as SAG-AFTRA Extends Contract Negotiations. SAG-AFTRA's strike against major video game publishers will continue as Actors Union has extended contract negotiations with the employers. This comes after an inability to resolve the ongoing dispute over its interactive media agreement after 3 days of scheduled talks concluded this week. Per SAG-AFTRA, the new dates for returning to the table are a little bit of a mystery till we go over to the article itself. Variety.com is where it's housed. Jennifer Moss put the article together, and it says the bargaining committee will be announced as soon as they're confirmed, but they've got a few dates ahead, I'm sure. Prior to returning to the table with the corporate gaming side Wednesday, SAG-AFTRA announced more than 120 video game titles had signed either SAG-AFTRA's proposed interim media agreement or the indie developer-focused tiered budget independent interactive agreement. That one rolls off the tongue. I guess marketing is not the key ingredient in this. As the strike is largely handled on a title-by-title basis rather than studio by studio. So the SAG-AFTRA strike against all signatories to the interactive media agreement began in July and remains in effect. No further comment is available at this time. Since July.
I mean, that's a pretty long gap in this.
Yep.
And this means that all these are going to be just kind of stagnating.
Yep. Well, I mean, they're going to, turn to AI or whatever, voice acting scabs, I guess. You know, it's such a horrible term to refer to a human being, but anyway. Companies included in the video game companies bargaining committee are Activision Productions, Blind Light, Disney Character Voices, Electronic Arts Productions, Formosa Interactive, Insomniac Games, Llama Productions, Take-Two Productions, and WB Games. So they have a sticking point which reached agreement on 24 in 25 item proposal. That last one, generative AI in games, particularly in regard to motion and performance capture.
You know, if you're in anything related to the entertainment industry, you can probably predict that AI is going to be a topic of negotiation.
Yep. At the time, Crabtree Ireland also said that while a holiday season boycott of the gaming companies has not been called, that option is a tool that's in our toolkit for the SAG-AFTRA side as the strike continues. So, yeah, you're going to see some games getting hobbled here because they're going to start striking. But the problem is that if they strike during the holidays, it's not like people are going to be buying these games before they're released. They're buying the games when they get released. So if you stop now, the game still isn't going to come out until 2025, late 2025, 2026.
Right, exactly. I mean, there will just be kind of a lull where there aren't new games coming out.
Yep. Oh, Silo is returning on November 15th, by the way. All right. Well, good luck. There is little to nothing that can be done to, end users facilitating other than like maybe donating to a cause or something like that or supporting these efforts. I support them. I think that they should be making more money than they are. And unfortunately, the people that have invested money in this have sold society on the idea that it's all their risk, right? But that's not really how it goes, because if you screw up when you're developing the game and it sells like crap, you're part of a game that sold like crap. You'd have to sit there and go, well, my part was great, but...
Exactly. But you'd probably be almost banished from the industry, depending on how badly it failed.
Eventually. And it's part and parcel to the enterprise to take the risk. That's why you take the risk, for a great reward, but not to the point where it's exploitive of the people involved. And when you're talking like this, so an actor does this motion capture and voice work and stuff like that, and then they use AI to take those graceful mechanics of both and or voice acting or motion capture and then it's duplicated, in perpetuity. You don't need the human anymore. And I think therein lies the rub, right?
Well, so then the compensation, right, for that
Right.
is very key, because if it's a one-time small payment,
They're
that's
done.
not
Yeah.
sustainable for the actors.
Yep, exactly. All right. Well, anyway, good luck to them. I just want good games, and I don't think that payment should be exploitive. People should get paid what they deserve, and it should be not necessarily millions of dollars for their work, but I don't think that the owners should be getting millions of dollars at the cost of low pay for all of the people that actually made it happen. Those engineers, the voice actors, the motion capture artists, the stunt people, all of that, they are the engine that make it work. And I think that they should get more of the cake than, senior leadership that's just like signing the document saying, yeah, we invested.
Right.
But
They shouldn't get like, okay, we're releasing the game and now everybody's fired.
And that has happened time and time again in the software. Well, pretty much in a lot of businesses where there's a product that is made and then manufacturing takes place. Once the manufacturing process, the design work is done, you can fire everybody because you don't need them, right? Except for every iteration
Well,
after
you
that.
might for, yeah, like updates and refreshing and.
Yep. Keeping up with the times. All right, folks. Well, we're going to reboot, and that'll bring us back to the front page of ohmTown.com, where you can sign up and become a citizen. That's all I'm going to say. So we're out of here. We're going to reset and do Reality Hacker, and then Wanted, and then the Continuity Report. That's 3 of our weekly shows. We actually have 6, and so we'll do this tomorrow with 3 new, not the same 3 weekly shows. It's hard to say this. How do you say that? Right?
We'll have our daily show and our other 3 weekly shows.
Yeah, but it's not the same as this.
WarCrafters, Technology Today, and 4-Wheel Tech.
Yeah, what the Sentient AI said. Yeah. Okay, I'm out of here, and I'm taking the Sentient AI with me. Bye, everybody. You want to say bye?
Bye-bye, ohmTown citizens. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.
Yeah. Maybe 15 minutes. Yeah. Be sure to follow us. Bye-bye. Just pay everybody a